You flip a switch and light floods the room. Nothing waits for you in the dark. You don't check the shadows before stepping outside. For most of your life, that assumption has been safe. But in 1907, in the Himalayan foothills of Nepal and India, the dark held something with stripes and 800 pounds of muscle. It had already killed hundreds of people, and it was about to prove that the species at the top of the food chain isn't always the one in control. Her name, if you can call it that, was the Champawat Tiger. A female Bengal tiger, she killed an estimated 436 people across 2 countries over 4 years, the deadliest single animal ever documented. Most tigers avoid humans entirely. So why did this one become the exact opposite? Picture yourself in a Nepalese village around 1903. Firewood, water, livestock, every task pulls you toward the tree line. Then people start disappearing, not at night, but in daylight, while gathering wood on a familiar path. A nighttime predator follows a pattern you can plan around. A daylight predator means nowhere is safe. The Nepalese army was eventually called in. Hundreds of soldiers swept the forest and drove her out, but they never killed her. She simply crossed the Sharda River into India and kept killing under a new flag. She learned to travel 20 miles a day between attacks, spacing her kills so no village could predict her next move. She targeted women and children most, not from cruelty, but because they were the ones sent into the forest, and the easiest to overpower. Villages emptied, farms went untended. By 1907, colonial authorities brought in Jim Corbett, a 31-year-old hunter who knew the terrain better than most. His chance came after the tiger killed a 16-year-old girl named Premka Devi. Corbett followed her blood trail, nearly got ambushed by the tiger himself, and 2 days later, backed by nearly 300 villagers driving the animal toward him, ended her with 3 rifle shots. Here's the twist most retellings skip. When Corbett examined the body, he found 2 broken canine teeth. She was old, roughly 12, and physically unable to kill her natural prey anymore. Deer and boar are fast. A tiger needs a precise bite to bring them down. Humans, by comparison, are slow and predictable. Corbett came to believe man-eating in tigers is almost never preference. It's desperation, triggered by an injury that breaks the normal hunt. Corbett never treated the kill as a triumph. He went on to put down the rifle in favor of a camera and later helped establish India's first national park, eventually renamed in his honor. He wasn't alone in his conclusion about why she killed either. Decades later, biologist Craig Packer at the University of Minnesota studied a wave of lion attacks in Tanzania and found the same pattern. Injury and shrinking habitat, not aggression, turned predators toward people. And that shrinking habitat had a human cause. Colonial-era deforestation across Kumaon and western Nepal was already clearing the land tigers depended on. Fewer deer, less cover, more contact with the one slow, abundant food source left nearby. You. So why does a 100-year-old tiger story still make your pulse tick up? Your brain wasn't built for this century. It was built over hundreds of thousands of years in a world where large predators were routine and the humans who survived were the ones with a fast, twitchy threat detection system. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky has spent decades studying how the amygdala, the almond-shaped alarm center deep in your brain, still fires for threats that no longer exist. That system doesn't just fire for tigers anymore, it fires for a notification you haven't opened, a conversation you're dreading, a bank balance you don't want to check. The threat changed shape completely. The wiring didn't get the memo. The Champawat tiger didn't become a killer out of malice. An injury and a shrinking world left her without another option. Your own fear response isn't a flaw either. It's an inheritance, tuned by ancestors for whom false calm was far more dangerous than false alarm. You flip a switch, and light floods the room. Nothing waits for you in the dark. Not really. Not anymore. But somewhere behind your ribs, an alarm system built for a world with tigers in it is still standing watch, waiting for a threat that stopped showing up centuries ago.